Okay, this lesson is going to be order of operations. Whether or not you heard it from last year, I'll present it and give you a couple of examples to go along with it. With order of operations, people say, why do we need order of operations? Well, let me give you the same example side by side, two different outcomes. They're both 5 plus 6 times 4. If I go over here and do it just the way it's printed and do 5 plus 6, which is 11, and then multiply it by the 4, I get 44. If over on the right-hand side, I multiply first, 6 times 4 is 24, and then add the 5 to it, I get 29. Now both were done mathematically correct. There's no issue with your skills, but you got two separate answer keys. And this is why you need order of operations. So speaking of the order of the operations, let me write down and have you copy down the complete order that we do operations in. Number one is parentheses. I always spell this wrong, parentheses. You always do what's in parentheses first. Then, number two, you do powers, or sometimes known as exponents. Example of that might be something like 5 squared, or 4 cubed. That's the way I pronounce that. Third and fourth kind of go hand in hand. You then do anything that has multiplying and then do division, but sometimes you might do it backwards. But the rule of thumb is to work left to right. So if multiplying and dividing are kind of like side by side in the problem, the rule of thumb is to work it left to right in solving it. And I'll give you examples of what I'm talking about. And the last two, once you've done multiplying and dividing, you then have to do adding before doing subtraction. But sometimes you'll do subtraction before addition in certain circumstances. But the rule of thumb is when add and subtract are kind of side by side in the problem, once again, you work the problem left to right. And that is one little rule of thumb people forget about. Okay, so here are your 6 different order of operations. Let me give the first example, something easy, something light. Number 1, 9 plus 3 minus 7. Hey, look at your addition and your subtraction are side by side, so work them left to right. That means you do the addition part first. That's the left-hand side, which is 12, working toward the right-hand side. 12 minus 7 is 5. There's one example. Example number 2. 2 plus 5 times 6. Now you have adding and multiplying. Well, multiplying is before addition in order of operations. My little v here connects the numbers in the operations. For example, 5 times 6 is 30. Now go ahead and add the 2 to it, and now you have 32, hence order of operations. Third one down. How about, let's do 2 plus negative 5 times 6. Add a negative in there. Okay, order of operations prevails. You still do multiplication first, negative 30. Now don't forget the 2. Now you can add. And 2 and negative 30 is negative 28. And the fourth example, let's do, what's a good one? How about we do 3 squared and then do times 4 plus 1. Well, now we have a power right here. This 3 squared is a power. In your brain is thinking 3 times 3, 3 times 3. 3 squared means 3 times 3, not 3 times 2. And that's going to be 9. 9 times 4 plus 1. I do a lot of recopying. Now, between timesing and adding, you times the numbers next. 4 times 9 is 36. Now you're allowed to add the final 1, and you get 37. So there's 4 examples of using order of operations. Example number 5. Let's kind of spice it up just a little bit here. Let's do, what's a good one here? Let's do some parentheses, like this. 8 plus 6, parentheses, then divide, then by 2. Remember in our first screenshot? Let's go back there. We said parentheses was the first thing you do before doing anything else. Well, now we have a problem inside parentheses. So we're going to do 8 plus 6, which is 14. Then you're allowed to divide by 2, which is 7. Kind of simple. Example number 6. Let's do 4 squared. How about plus 2 to the third power? Some say 2 cubed, 2 to the third power, times 5. All right, no more parentheses, but you got powers. So what I'll do is first, I'll do all the problems that have powers first. Like 4 squared. Your brain says 4 times 4, 4 times 4. That's 16. Now 2 cubed does not mean 2 times 3. It means 2 times 2 times 2, and that's 8. Notice I'm bringing the plus sign down, the times sign, and the number 5. It's like having a brand new problem. 16 plus 8 times 5. Now in that order, multiplication is done first. That's 40. Now you're allowed to add the 16, and that's 56. Just adding more and more operations inside the problem. Let's try another one here. Example number 7. How about 4 plus 7 times 3 minus 10? No parentheses, no powers, plain adding, subtracting, and multiplying. Out of the 3 operations, I spy addition, multiplying, and subtraction. Multiplying is done first, between 7 and 3, 21. I'm a creature that does a lot of recopying. Notice I'm recopying the operations and the numbers before and after 21. Okay, now I got 4 plus 21. Addition comes first, that's 25. Now I'm allowed to subtract the 10. 25 take away 10 is 15. See, I'm trying to look for one more example I could give you. Let's try one more over here from my screenshot. How about, all right, negative 7 divided by 7 times 12. That's a time symbol right there. All right, the 2 operations are division and multiplication. Now, in the order of operations, it does say here that multiply comes before divide. But look at, I have next door neighbors. My divide and my times are next door neighbors. This is where you do what's called left to right. And you actually do division first. Negative 7 divided by positive 7 is negative 1. Now bring down the times 12. And negative 1 and 12 is negative 12. So there's a case of working left to right when you have adding and subtracting in one problem. One more here. Let's see. All right, let's do this one. Do 4 minus 7 times 3 plus 10 divide by 2. All right, so I got one of each of the operations. Now, step 1 out of the 4 operations, multiply is the one you do first. And there's your 21. I'm going to copy all the other steps down and kind of work at mine little by little. So now it's read 4 minus 21 plus 10, divide by 2. Out of those 3 operations, you divide next. 10 divided by 2 is 5. I'll recopy all the other information in front of it. Now you have a minus and a plus 5. Aha! Don't do addition first, do subtraction first, because your minus and your plus are side by side, they're neighbors. And the rule was work left to right. So we're going to do 4 minus 21 first, which is negative 17. Now you're allowed to add the 5. And negative 17 plus 5 is negative 12. So there's an example of working left to right sometimes as well. And so here's a quick little intro about order of operations. It's all about the order of the operations. All right, now here's what I need you to do. I have a worksheet on the front table. The worksheet's called Solve It in Order. Well, there's a good 24 or so problems. I'd like you to work on that worksheet, bang all the answer keys out, and then we'll talk about it as a class and show you the solutions to all the problems. All right? Okay, good luck. Thanks a lot. Peace out. Bye.